Good afternoon, my name's Pete Rainford and you're watching Rainford's Brew Lab. Today we're going to be making an apple and elderflower cider. Okay, if you want to make this, you're going to need some sugar, some yeast nutrient, some apple and elderflower juice, which this one's from Aldi, the juice company. Some yeast, this is Mangrove Jack's MO2. You can use another yeast for this, I use this because it's really good for ciders. And we need a fermenter and an airlock. If you haven't got a fermenter and airlock, you can use a 2 litre PET bottle or a 1 litre PET bottle with a cap. Leave the cap loose so that it can breathe during fermentation. Okay, now this juice is quite low in sugars. It's only got 2.9 grams, which would only give us not even a 2% cider, going off the calculations. So for every 17 grams of sugar in 1 litre of juice, we get 1%. So we'd need 34 grams and we've only got 29 grams in here, so we don't even get 2%. So I'd like to up this to around 6% because I'm currently experimenting with all these juices. I want to ferment them up to around 6% to see how they taste as ciders on their own. Then I'll know how to blend them with other fruits and juices to get a nice flavour profile. So I'm going to add 70 grams of sugar to this, which will bring it up to around the 6%. Doesn't have to be spot on, but it's going to be there and abouts. And Mangrove Jack's used purely because it retains those fruity flavours really well. And apple and elderflower should be really nice. Okay, so first off, let's just make some room a moment. And I want to weigh out our sugar, 70 grams. Okay, I went over a little bit there, 72, 73 grams. The reason I move my scales over here is because when they're sat on this soft tea towel, they don't get an accurate measurement, so turn that off. Okay, we've got a nice wide fermenter here, so we don't need a funnel today. Let's pour our sugar in. Now we need 1/4 teaspoon of yeast nutrient. Now I'm going to pour our juice in. Smells really nice. High hopes for this one, guys. High hopes. Just having a quick look on the ingredients there, guys. There's nothing, there's no sulfates, sulfites, citrates or anything, so there's nothing that should interfere with our fermentation here. Okay, I'm going to put the cap on. And hopefully these things are quite watertight. And give this a good shake just to get this sugar mixed in and that yeast nutrient. Okay, that's all mixed in nicely. Take a quick reading before I forget. Good these days, aren't I? Really good. I think I can just pour this in. Can I? Okay, 1.044. And just having a look at my notes there, if that goes to dry, we should be looking at about 5.86%, so perfect. We can pour that back in. And now time to pitch some yeast. Mangrove Jack's MO2, the reason I use this is because it retains the fruity flavours, and it's specifically designed for cider. I've got one open here, and because we're only adding 1 litre to this fermenter, then we really only need 1/4 of a teaspoon of this. So one of these goes a long way if you're doing little micro batches like this, of course. 1 teaspoon. You missed. Okay, let's put that away. Top on, a little bit of a swirl because that yeast is already mixed in down the bottom there, look. Look at that. Okay, we need a little bit of fluid in our airlock. And there we go. Now we just need to leave that somewhere warm for a few days. It should ferment within a week anyway, if kept between around 18 to 22 degrees. When it's cold in here, I have the heating mat on set at 20 degrees. If you don't have a heating mat, just have it in the house in a room where you have the heating on during the winter. It's spring now and it's warm enough really to ferment on its own, but to get those optimal conditions, around 20 degrees is good for these yeasts. It's elderflower and apple. Sounds great, eh? See you soon. Good afternoon. We've got our apple and elderflower cider here. It's been brewing for 4 days. We brewed it on the 21st of April. Today is the 25th. It's brewed nice and quickly. It is nice and warm in here. Probably why it's fermented so fast. So, going to get a reading, and then I'm going to bottle it up, cold crash it, and probably carbonate it because fizzy cider. Fizzy cider. I really like the smell of this as well. Let's see what it smells like in a second. It does smell good. Okay. Yeah, we're done. 1.000. Right, I am going to funnel that into 2 500ml plastic bottles that I've got, and then carbonate. These are already sanitized, guys. I do that when I clean them. So let's get that bit in for starters. You could siphon this, but it's very fiddly with it being such a small fermenter, so I'm literally just going to pour this in as gentle as I can. That's one. And two. Now at this point, if you wanted to naturally carbonate this, you would add a few grams of sugar, put the tops on, and let it ferment at room temperature for a few days, probably a week, just for that tiny bit of sugar to be consumed by the yeast. Then you'd need to refrigerate it for a few days for it to settle. This is why I do things, I rush things a little bit by force carbonating, because I'm impatient like most people, you know, and I want to drink it now because I'm thirsty. I'm always thirsty. And yeah, so this is how I do things. It's a lot easier to just throw some sugar in now, put the tops on and leave it. If you've got that patience and you've got that time, by all means do it that way. Right, Apple and Elderflower, 2 bottles here. I've force carbonated them, as you can probably tell by the caps on the top here. Glasses here, you know what that means. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Okay, our opening gravity for this was 1.044, final gravity of 1.000. That gives us a 5.8% ABV. It's carbonated, it's chilled. It's only taken a few days from fermentation to this point, which is highly desirable. I very much like that, a few days, but anyway, I digress. Let's get a taste. A little bit of sediment in the bottom there that I've just disturbed. I want to pick that up pretty quick. What's this one like? Go for that one. Oh! Right. Whoa, fizzy. Medium glass. It's a bit early in the day, guys. No judging. I know you lot. You judge. Judgy. I think we can say that's definitely carbonated. It's lovely and clear. It's got a great colour, lovely straw colour. Great colour. Look at that. Okay, let's have a look. That does smell lovely and floral. The elderflower is definitely coming through there. Ooh. This has promise. This has promise. Let's put a top on that. You never know, we might want a bit more. Keep it fizzy, eh? Okay, cheers. Okay, that's very subtle. That's not as strong tasting as I was expecting. It's got those artificial sweeteners there, which gives it a not unpleasant taste, but it's a bit weird. It's very nice though. Let's get a bit more. Just, you know, make sure we're getting things right here. Oh, I'm getting those holiday vibes again from this. It just screams sunshine, beach, poolside, you know, it's just one of those lovely, refreshing, light, what strength are we? 5.8%, it's not exactly weak, is it? But that would be a great drink in the sunshine. That's all I've got to say on that matter. That's lovely and fizzy. Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. It doesn't need any sweeteners added because it's got those artificial sweeteners there to bring some sweetness through, obviously. The strength is good, nice clarity, lovely carbonation. Success, eh? I think if I was to make this again, could go maybe a little bit stronger, maybe bump it up another percent, because it's dangerous, is what I'm saying. I'm not tasting much alcohol there, which is a good thing. It means it's disguised, it's in there in a fruity drink. It's a danger. It's definitely a danger. You could drink an awful lot of that in a very short time if the sun was beating down, and so yes, a danger to mankind. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I am going to call it a day there and say cheers. Very nice.